Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another Sketchbook Adventure Day. Today I want to study the depth in mountains. I want to be able to create that depth of field. So right now I'm just throwing in a basic sky of cerulean blue, titanium white, and just the slightest little touch of ultramarine blue. And I'm working with a round number 5. This is a Grumbrocker round. For this purple, I'm just adding in a little bit of quinacridone magenta in with that sky color. I'm just moving it back and forth, and I am just getting it as smooth as possible. I don't want the sky to be my main focus, so I'm not going to be adding any clouds or doing anything incredible to the sky. My main focus I want to be is the depth of the mountains that we're going to place. If you would like to know what my supplies are that I use to create all my paintings, I'll have the link in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Now I'm going in, and right here I'm just adding in a little bit of cadmium red that's mixed in with just a little touch of cadmium yellow to make a orangish feel to the red. I want it a little bit more on the cooler side. And then I'm going in and I'm adding in more yellow as I progress up the sky. Now the one thing that you have to make sure is do not overblend. If you're going to add yellow to your sky for the sun, do not overblend where the blue is, because you will start to make green and it will not look good. And that's the one reason why I stopped the blue where I did, because I knew I was going to add a little bit of a sunset over here in the corner. You can already tell where the blue and yellow meet. It's starting to look a little green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with a lot more titanium white and try to lighten everything up. But again, the sky is not the focus here. So we'll work on skies at a later date. So I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about if there's green in the sky. So we're going to start in the distance and work our way to the foreground. So with this, I always use the sky color a little bit, and I add just a little bit of raw umber to that cerulean blue with a little bit of ultramarine blue and titanium white to create a very far off looking mountain. And when you come forward, you darken it up just a little bit. So right now I'm adding just a tad more of ultramarine blue. I'm just going to work that in. I'm still using the number 5 round brush from Grumbrocker. And when you get down to the base of the mountain, I like to add a lot more titanium white. I like to show that there's mist a little bit in between, and it also helps to separate each mountain or hill as you come closer to the viewer. So as you've noticed, each stage is getting a little darker. I'm adding a little bit more of ultramarine blue into the mix. And you can start to notice by adding titanium white to the base of all these hills, how it separates them more and more, and it kind of makes it look like there's a little bit of mist in between each hill, but it makes the top of the hill stand out a lot more. Now what I did here is I added a lot more burnt umber, or a lot more. Is it burnt umber or raw umber? It's burnt umber. I'm sorry. I added a lot more burnt umber with the ultramarine blue, and I added just a tad of yellow to make it a little bit more greenish feel, and that will suggest that there is either grass or trees. There's some kind of vegetation on that hill. Now to create this dark color, I am not using black. There is no black on my palette. This is 50/50 ultramarine blue and burnt umber, and what it is doing is it creates a very deep color if you can get the mixes just right. And in that foreground, in the closest hill that it is, I did add a little bit of quinacridone magenta just to warm it up just a little bit. So right now I grab my liner and I'm going to just do a little bit of suggestion that there are trees on this hill. Now this is still far away from us. The trees are going to be a little small. So this liner that I'm using is a 0 from Royal Langnickel, and it will be found in the liner section of my supply list. Here and there, just dab on a little bit of trees, and it will suggest to the viewer that this hill is covered with a forest. And you want to make sure to stagger them too. Some parts are going to be lower trees. There may be one tall tree. There may be a gap where trees are missing. Vary it up. Don't just do a single tree all along the whole top of it. It won't look realistic. Now because this second hill is a little closer to the viewer, I just want to hint that there are still trees on that hill as well. So just ever so slightly, I'm going to do a tiny tip on that, and not throughout the whole hill as I did in the very foreground. Now just to create some depth in this still, I'm going to add just a little bit of darkness here and there throughout this, just to kind of give the illusion that this is covered in a forest. Now I'm just going to go over and, just blend the sky in a little bit more, but that is all there is to creating depth. I hope you liked it, and if you did, hit that subscribe button, check out more of my videos, and I will see you in the next video.